Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2 is created by Dave Filoni and Jennifer Corbett and is directed by Brad Rao, Stuart Lee, Nathaniel Villanueva, and also Saul Ruiz.
You know what makes us different? We make our own choices. What do you need, Rex? Any chance I could use you for a mission?
Parents, The Bad Batch, new season, streaming January 4th.
What's going on, everybody? Don Martino here from Extract Media. Today we are going to talk about Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2. I'm so excited for Season 3. Can't wait to prep for this one. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to get into it with all of you here today. I have done episode by episode thoughts on the channel in the past on Season 2, but I've never gone back and done a full review of it. And I thought that was important to do before Season 3 or the final season comes out, because honestly, this season got quite good toward the end. It was honestly one of those things where I had to finish the whole journey of it before I could appreciate it even more. It accomplished, I think, one of the most important goals a season has to do, which is to get you hyped for the season after it, and this season definitely did that. The journey going throughout it was pretty hit or miss. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was kind of iffy for me as I was watching it, but then watching it a second time here, there were episodes that I appreciated more this time around because they meant something more toward the end. So it's just really fascinating how the season works to me, because you can have an episode that really takes inspiration from Steven Spielberg, and I will watch it and I will notice it's inspired by Steven Spielberg, but at the same time, after coming out of it, I'll just feel empty. But then you have other episodes that are a little bit more film noir feel, which is like the one on Pabu, and then I really enjoyed that, but still coming out of it feeling empty. Like, I enjoyed the planet of Pabu, but didn't really have much attachment to everything else going on surrounding it. But then something as small as an episode that is inspired by the pod racing in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is really kind of heartwarming now, rewatching it and going back. There's an episode between Tech and Omega in one of the later episodes, and it's really interesting how something so small can feel so impactful, and this show does a great job at those heartfelt moments, and it did throughout seasons 1 and 2. In this season, the Bad Batch is kind of dealing with the loss of their home planet Camino after what happened to it in the end of the first season. And kind of trying to figure out if they can make each other their home, right? And they are still dealing with this problem with Omega, but then they also got Crosshair on the run. And I gotta say, the episodes that focus on Crosshair are some of the best episodes in the show. One of the things going into this season is I didn't want the character to get redeemed, but as they started building him out more and more and more, I kind of did want him to get redeemed a lot more. The stuff dealing with cloning I also found to be very interesting. Obviously, it's dealing with the larger lore of Star Wars, and is probably going to answer some questions in the larger lore of Star Wars that we still have lingering. It's going to tie up some loose ends, hopefully, in the final season. But once you get to the epic cliffhanger ending, and it really is dramatic and crazy, it really does get you excited for the final season of the show. The final season now has one job, and this is where I'm going to get into some spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen season 2 of The Bad Batch, please tune out now. So basically, at the end, Omega gets taken, and it is crazy. Also, Tech passes away, so Omega's got to deal with that. But on top of that, now she's taken, and now the Bad Batch have one job to do for the final season. It was just so perfect the way that this was all set up, and I thought the final 2 episodes in particular of the show, some of the best Star Wars animation out there. It just did a great job leading into what it's leading into, and for that reason, this season just jumps up a little bit better than the first season for me. At the end of the first season, I wasn't necessarily stoked on a season 2, right? Like, I would watch it, but it wasn't something I was necessarily stoked about. But at the end of this season, I am insanely excited for the third and final season, and it did its job. I think all the directors worked very cohesively with one another to make these episodes feel like they're in the same series. That's one of the things I do love about Bad Batch, is the fact that all the episodes do feel like they're part of the same series, as opposed to a show like The Mandalorian. You'll get episodes that feel like they're from a bunch of different shows and a bunch of different genres. What the fuck? This show is very, very consistent. It's much like Andor in that way. Michelle Ang is so fantastic as Omega. Again, I really loved her, and I like that D. Bradley Baker came back and reprised all the Bad Batch. He does a great job with those characters, and the characters were very consistent with who they were in season 1, and even seeing some of them have growth, such as Tech, for example. I thought that was really, really neat. All right, guys, the spoiler warning is gone, but if you haven't seen The Bad Batch, I honestly do recommend this one. I'm gonna go ahead and and give it at least a might watch if you really have nothing else to do. Maybe put it on. I mean, this final season's coming up here, so maybe you get caught up with it, and it should be a lot of fun. I think this final season's going to be very, very good. That's just my prediction. Probably the best in the series, and hopefully some of the better Star Wars we've had of recent days. So I'm really looking forward to that. I want to thank everybody for joining here again today. My name is Don Martino once again. Thank you guys so much for checking out the content. Before I get out of here, please hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit the bell for notifications. It's always much appreciated and it helps you not miss future content. It's a twofer. All right, guys, once again, I'm Don Martino, and I will talk to you guys later.